I understand why people are obsessed with figuring him out. For Linda Healy, Donna Manson, Susan Rancourt, Roberta Parks. I drove myself crazy trying to do so. When I first moved to Seattle, my friends told me that the best way to get acquainted to city living was to go out and get rowdy. Have a night on the town. So when they cornered me with the babysitter one Saturday evening, I decided it was best just not to argue with them and to go out and, well, get rowdy. Okay. And when we first got to the Sandpiper Tavern, there was an elevated dance floor, and after 2 beers, I decided this is exactly what I needed, and after just 2 more, I wasn't even shy, and every last bit of shyness disappeared when a tall, sandy-haired man approached me. He was confident and in control of his own world, and ladies, he had an accent. Elizabeth. In 2017, the movie Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile made news headlines for showcasing a unique perspective on the horrific murders that took place throughout the 1970s. However, what these articles fail to mention is they did not get in contact with the woman these movies were supposed to be about until after her lawyers got involved. Like her, I am here to shed light on the stories that go unrecognized, because you never know when it'll be someone you know, or you. Her true and unedited accounts of her life with The Phantom Prince by Elizabeth Kendall. Brenda Ball, Georgianne Hawkins, Janice Ott, Denise Naslund. After that, him and I began spending most of our time together talking and eating and taking care of my daughter. Molly had all flowed so effortlessly that we had really become a family. I was a recently divorced mother of a 2-year-old. I thought those were just 2 strikes against me, but I was shocked and pleased at how much he seemed to like our domestic scene. He would plan fun outings he knew would be fun for Molly, like going to the zoo or going to Lake Salmonish to feed the ducks, and every Saturday morning I would wake up to hear Molly screaming, "Save me, Mom, save me!" in which I would run out to the living room to see them on the floor in a tickle fight, which I would inevitably end up joining until usually I called for a truce. He was so good with Molly. But in early January of 1974, the disappearances started. A young woman was taken from her own apartment. Another young woman was taken from her dorm room, and a little girl went missing from her own front lawn. Like every woman, I was deeply disturbed by what was happening. We all were. So was he. One day, after I got home from taking Molly home for a walk, and make sure to wash your hands before supper, he started yelling at me. What? So I'm not allowed to take my own daughter out for a walk anymore? Why? And he told me I don't know what's out there, and to take him next time. This was how our relationship worked. I would come at him with something unreasonable, and he would come back at me with a perfectly reasonable explanation for everything. One time I confronted him because in the back of his desk drawer, I found a jar of plaster of Paris, and neither of us have ever broken a bone before, and there are crutches in the back of our closet, and you work at a clinic, and are you stealing these things? And he told me he did take them because you never know when you're gonna break a leg. We both laughed. So he was stealing things. There was not a doubt in my mind that he was marked for success. He said it always bothered him that his family was middle class, and it was a few things that would come in handy. Right? In June, the disappearances continued, and the next time it was 2 young women from Lake Salmonish. And when I went into work the next morning, a young male co-worker of mine approached me. Denise Oliverson, Lynette Culver, Susan Curtis, Margaret Bowman, Lisa Levy. He handed me a piece of paper, and on it was a sketch. What is this? And he had underlined 2 things at the bottom, a car and a name. His car and his name. And when I got home that night, Margaret Bowman, Lisa Levy, Karen Chandler, Kathy Kleiner, Cheryl Thomas, Kimberly Leach, I started going over all the things in my head because there was no way. I mean, it looked like a little bit like him, but just the eyes. And stealing a few things was different from murdering someone. Stealing things was different from murdering someone. Stealing things was different from murdering someone. And I was just crazy. I was crazy. So I forgot about it. On July 4th of that same year, Margaret Bowman, Lisa Levy, Karen Chandler, Kathy Kleiner, Elizabeth Kendall, we went out to the lake. It was beautiful. And he helped me out, and Molly was at a friend's house, thank God, because it was just him and me. And the sun, oh, the sun made all of life seem golden. No speaking. But when I looked at him, he was already looking at me, but it wasn't him. It wasn't him. And then out of nowhere, he was lunging at me and holding my head under the water, and I couldn't breathe. And it took everything I had to pull myself. What the hell? And he told me, if I ever told anyone about this, he would break my neck. Let go. Go to hell! I said the name of every woman he afflicted, but do you know who this is about? I understand why people are obsessed with figuring him out. They say I have survivor's guilt. I reject that. We should all be alive because that is a gift. It is a gift to be able to make mistakes and to move on and to learn from them. Don't waste that.